Hey everyone, Ryan RC Rice here. I'm just going to share with you 10 tips for creating some really great plugins. And believe me, I won't stop here because these tips are actually just some things I thought on top of my head. But there are so many other tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you throughout this exclusive Skype group. But first, I want to go ahead and tell you what's going down tomorrow in the chat room. I want to discuss actually finding plugin ideals, and we're going to discuss legal theft. Not really stealing. PLR plugins. Building onto scripts. I'm going to share with you some sources that I go to for my scripts. We're going to discuss using the warrior form for an ideal generator. We're also going to discuss fulfilling a need and why fulfilling a need with plugins is important. Not only because you'll be more successful with that plugin, but because you instantly have a success and something that people will more than likely pay you for, be glad to pay you for. We'll also talk about some resources such as Elance and Freelancer, Craigslist, places where you can actually go to find these programmers, and a lot more. So stay tuned for that. So if you guys are ready, we're going to go ahead and discuss 10 of my tips for creating some really killer plugins. Number one is learn to legally steal ideals. And basically what this means is get ideals from other plugins that's already been generated. One place that I really like to quote-unquote legally steal ideals is actually these Freelancer or Elance sites. See what other people are getting built and see how you can kind of manipulate that to make it better. Another thing I love to do is actually view the comments of people that have purchased plugins. They're usually asking, hey, will this be added on? Hey, does this do that? Does this do this? This gives you an idea of what the buyer is seeking. So if you can make a similar plugin with these features, you're in the money. Another thing I really suggest is invest in protecting your plugin. Basically, this can mean anything from an API code or just being very selective about who owns your plugin. A lot of times we see the $7, $17 plugins. But if your plugin does something exclusive, you put a lot of money in it, it saves people a lot of time or headache, then, it's nothing for someone to pay $97, $197, $297 for a plugin. So invest in protecting your intellectual property. Have your potential programmer repeat what he or she has just read. And basically what that means is you can tell, your programmer all day what you're needing, but you need for that program to understand what you're needing in order for them to implement your ideal. So have them in their own words just kind of say, hey, how do you see this playing out? What are you hearing from me on my end? Number 5 is just kind of repeat what I said. Make sure that your plugin is saving time, headache, or money. I read in a product creation course that it needs to either save time, save money, or make money, or become more fun, make the activity more fun. No one likes eating their vegetables, but if you can make, veggie time a game time, why wouldn't it, whatever's making veggie time a game time sell, makes the activity more pleasant. So let your plugin take away some headache or frustration, save time, or make or save money. Tip number 6 is to always make sure your plugin works for the latest version of WordPress. There's so many times where people will actually have their WordPress plugins done, months before their launch, and then they're not aware that it's no longer compatible with the latest version of WordPress. Make sure that your version is, because a lot of times people will say, well, hey, this plugin isn't working right, and all it requires is a simple update to the latest version. Make sure that yours is compatible. Number 7 is have beta testers. Have people actually test your plugin to ensure that everything's working correctly. Beta testers are usually easy to find. I personally like to go to the Warrior Forum thread. I like to contact those who I see are giving feedback about plugins, not only saying, hey, this is a great plugin, but, saying, this feature is great, this feature is great. I'm really excited to see, this feature expanded. Those people are the type of people that you want to test out your plugin and not only make sure that everything's working as is, but make suggestions on how it can be better. Number 8 is just keep a note of who's a successful programmer. If you got a programmer who was, very cost efficient, they communicated with you well, and everything got done on time, keep them in your, your programmer's little pocketbook. It's cool to look for a new programmer for each product project, but it becomes a lot easier and a lot faster, and you become more proficient in this if you get programmers that you can trust and that you work with and you have that relationship with. Number 9 is very similar to number 3, and it's protecting your investment. And what that means is, having things like a non-disclosure agreement so that your programmer isn't sharing your idea with other people who may be looking to have a plugin made. Using escrow. This means that, you've posted up the money. It shows that you're posted up the money. Your programmer can work, and that he's sure that you have the money to actually pay for it. And once your project's complete, the funds are released. Ask for referrals. That's something I like to do. I like to see examples, and I like to see that they can show me someone who can vouch for them, not only their skills but their working relationship. And number 10 is a very, very useful one. I hope that you will use it. Use video to show how a plugin works versus telling potential buyers what it does. And video is very powerful because they can visualize themselves using it and how it will be used. So when you're choosing between words and video, definitely choose the latter. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you look forward to tomorrow, and I look forward to using this course to help you better yourself in the plugin world.